Welcome in. It is the ATB show. You can go to atbshow.com to find all the links for all the things. The show now weekly is exclusive on YouTube. That is where we are live now. And above and beyond that, you can always catch on the Instatubes, on the Instagrams, part of the service known as the Mother Meta, where I'm not allowed on half of it right now, which is some of our conundrum. But you can find Rubber Shoes every morning doing the Rubber Shoes wrap up and rant. And that is taking place weekday mornings, weekend mornings, all of the mornings. That is on Instagram. But again, all of our links, just go to the one and simple atbshow.com and you'll find the link tree with all the links for all the things. And we got a little sidetracked before we started. We're going to talk more about this because it's wildly important to me because Rubber Shoes and I are both failing with our vision. So if you notice, I'm always bespecced because I need these for... you wear progressives, right? Rubber Shoes, is that what we're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah. So
same here.
As do I. There they are. The easy go on little shoes. So that's what mine are. I'm fine at a distance. I'm looking around the office. I can see all the things. Driving, I can see. From a vanity standpoint, you'll notice how beady my eyes look. There's that, which kills me. So above and beyond that, we've been talking because you don't have a mom. I noticed it, but you started talking about your experience today. And you're using the progressive eye drops, which I have heard of. You were talking about how your doctor was like, well, there's this other thing that just started. So you've got eye drops in your eyes right now that went in around 12 o'clock. It is 5:15 on the East Coast, by the way. So you've got about 2.5 more hours. You should be good.
Yep.
And you said it's awesome.
Yes. So they're not progressive. So I have contacts in for my distance.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Eye drops are for reading.
All right. We're getting some feedback. We're getting some feedback from somebody. Just saying.
Yeah.
Little looping. I'm checking everything over here. Anyway, you're good. All right. So you do have contacts in.
Yeah.
Interesting. So like that's my question. First and foremost, like obviously they did some testing. I'm rolling my eyes as I say this. Obviously they did some testing. Like what is the long term like? What is going in your eye that's making you suddenly be able to read that isn't a contact,
so
that wears off? I don't know. It's awesome and freaky.
So what it's actually doing, it's constricting my pupil to make it so they say that it keyholes your eyes to make it focus better on the print that you're trying to read.
Okay.
So what it happens is my pupils are pinpoint, which I don't know if you know, but as a first responder, pinpoint pupils are usually people that are on opiates, heroin overdoses and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
If I get pulled over by the cops, they're going to be like, hey, what are you on?
Yeah.
So there is that, but so basically it shrinks your pupils so it can focus on the stuff you read. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'd be willing to try it. Although like I am also slave to the fact that I think everyone's used to seeing me in glasses, and I feel like when I pull them off, and I know obviously.
See, I'm thrown off by him not having glasses.
Yeah. See, well, here's the thing.
When I came on my break today and I saw him, I didn't immediately go like he doesn't have glasses on, but I'm like, why does he look different?
Yeah, and I only got these. I was just saying to Rubber Shoes, I only got these 3 years. No, it's been 5 years now. I got mine June of 2017. Obviously, I've had the prescription enhanced. It's ultimately for reading. I think I decided that summer that they were shrinking all the beer menus at all the restaurants. And I did cheaters for a little bit, but then it got to a point where you stand up in the office and you got cheaters on and you're like Frankensteining around because they're made for just the one thing. So I would love to try that. My sister Jennifer has the pair glasses. Have you seen these?
No.
This is super cool. We were talking about you playing golf, and I think about golfing, mountain biking, being at the beach and wanting to be able to read but also have sunglasses on. So the company Pair makes glasses. They have all different kinds of frames. You basically would send your prescription to them. They make them just like a lot of these online glasses frame companies. But the cool thing about them is on the front, I don't know if it's up in the corners or in the middle, you can buy, and you would love that. Well, we would love this back in high school, Rubber Shoes. You'd appreciate this. You can buy different color covers to match all your outfits, which is amazing because you would love to do that with all of your shirts and hats and all that stuff. The other thing is you can clip on polarized sunglasses.
Okay.
Not really weird ones, but they clip right to the front. So if I got like they have different ones, but that they have one that I like that's similar to this, maybe a little chunkier on the frame, but it would look like Wayfarers from Ray-Ban. And then you clip the things on front, and they look super normal, and then I can still be able to read. And above and beyond that, like to your point, like playing golf, like I squint all the way out to the car over the summer because I never think to put sunglasses on because I've got frames on my face and I feel like I have something on already. I'm not taking these off to throw on sunglasses to drive or anything. I've been squinting for 5 years because unless I know like, okay, I'm not going to be reading any text. I'm going to be out on somebody's boat or doing whatever. I'm throwing sunglasses on and it's a pain in the ass. And I'm intrigued by the eye drops. I think that's friggin' brilliant. And I'm also sort of concerned that they haven't done enough tests.
I've had prescription sunglasses for probably over 5 years now. So I don't have.
I haven't done that, and I think I would probably go down the Pear Road first and get things I could clip on, which is amazing. That's super cool. That's super cool. I'm dying. We'll find out in a couple of weeks if your eyes still work after doing these eye drop things. Now, what did you say? It's like $80 a month for a prescription.
Yeah, say it. So I don't know if my insurance covers any of it, but I don't plan on doing it every single day because I'm not playing golf every day or whatever. But figure out do it. I don't have to do it every day, so that way it will extend it more than a month worth.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great point. I would do it like over the weekend. Gonna go play golf, throw those in. I can wear my sunglasses.
Yep.
And I don't need them for the golf part. It's like looking down at a watch, looking at a phone, anything close distance, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's and the other half of this, which Janina loves. I do have contacts that they gave me when I got these glasses, and I think it was probably over a year ago that I went for my last checkup and got new frames and stuff. I can't. It is beyond me to not take my eye out trying to put contacts in. It is an uphill battle for me, and by the time I get it done, to your point, if a cop pulled me over, I look high as a kite because my eyes are bloodshot because I've been jabbing myself in the face, and I've never historically worn them because I can't. It's such an effort to get them in.
Yeah, that when I got the ones that I have on right now.
Yep.
They're like, oh, you've worn them before. I'm like, yeah, but I need a refresher. Good thing, because it was a chore trying to get these in. I was like, oh man, what the hell? It's like I feel like I've never done it before.
Yeah, most optometrists make you do it 3 times before they let you leave the office, and it's like,
I was good. After that. Once I left, I was good. I was like, okay, I figured it out. I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm going to investigate. I'm probably going to get the pairs so I can get the clip-on things, and I'm probably going to ask them about the eye drops when I go because I'd love to get that for like golfing weekends and stuff like that. Just where you don't have to think about it. It freaks me out that they came up with this saline that's coating your eye, that's helping you. I don't know, man. Or to your point, it's dilating or pinpointing your pupil, which is also freaky. I feel like there might be some long-term effects. They're looking at me thinking, he'll be gone before it matters.
Long to go anyway. So
yep, his vision's going anyway, so it doesn't really matter if we screw it up a little bit faster than normal.
So all our viewers right now, tomorrow morning I'll have my glasses on to do the wrap up.
So you can read, definitely. Yeah. So you can definitely read.
I won't put the drops in just to do that because I'm at the fire station tomorrow. I'm not gonna bother doing it there.
Yep. Yeah, you don't want to take a flyer while you're actually at work, and you need to make sure that you can definitely read. Anyway, so the wrap-up tomorrow, as Rubber Shoes was saying, and this show, by the way, exclusively now on YouTube, brought to you by AAA Work Trucks. I don't have this memorized. I'm going to try the Rubber Shoes, and you're going to correct me. If it goes in, on, or near your truck, we probably have it. No,
that's close.
No, yeah, they're going to be calling you on the hotline, the AAA Work Trucks hotline, and be like, "Don't have them do that again. That's not good."
If it goes in or on a vehicle, it's a good bet AAA could take care of it for you.
All right. What did I say? In, on, or near?
Yeah.
Well, you never know. I tried. I did my best. He was hired and fired in 30 seconds. Anyway, so let's get into it. We've got Little Shoes here. Just in with breaking news that the Patriots signed somebody who sounds like a West Coast rapper. Who was that? What's happening?
Sorry, one second.
1 second. We're looking.
Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Little Jordan Humphrey. All right.
And it's Lil, like
Dash
Lil
Jordan.
John.
That's his name.
It's Lil. Tyler?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love this.
I thought you pointed that out before.
Lil Jordan
No.
Humphrey. All right.
He's been on the Saints for the last 3 years.
tend to forget things. So
All right. Well, there's our breaking Patriots news. Box checked. We're going to talk about golf because it's a big weekend for that. We're obviously going to talk about the Celtics because there's a lot to talk about there. Still a thing. I love the fact that you have now changed your prediction. What was your prediction before?
well,
We'll get to it. Do you want to go to Red Sox first? Red Sox golf, Celtics. What are we doing? What do we want to do?
You can do golf last night.
And the Bruins head coach that got released now has a new job in Vegas.
Yes, he's now the new head. Bruce Cassidy is now the head coach of the Vegas Knights.
That already destroyed franchise.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it didn't take long. So
No.
we still haven't even interviewed anyone yet.
Yeah. That's interesting
Danny
that he
Ainge?
got a job before we had even announced that we're talking to anybody.
Yep. And so the story that came out, I don't know if I'm sure you have heard it, is that he had Bruce Cassidy has his exit interview with Don Sweeney, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're going forward as usual." And then like a day or two later, he's like, "Yeah, you're fired."
Yeah.
So it must have come down, but I'm guessing the Jacobs said that because he would have had conversations with Neely before, and they were on the same page. I'm guessing that came from higher up.
Well, does it stand to reason too that somebody on the team, a player, took the escalator past Don Sweeney's office up to beyond the 9th floor at the Garden and talked to somebody and said nobody really digs him?
Yeah, I think basically the same thing that Tom Brady did to Bruce Arians is the same thing that happened to Bruce Cassidy. That's what I'm getting.
It's the Bruce name, maybe. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I agree with you. I think because that obviously I don't think Don would have said we're good, we're moving forward. It would be in that meeting they would have let him go. Like clearly there was something else going on that he wasn't, which is also horrifying for him if he's not he's not making the decisions. Like they didn't. I don't know. I'd like to think the Bruins are in better shape than we're going to blow up the whole office and maybe not resign because right now Pasta's in his last year, right?
Yes.
So they're not gonna. Do you think they're gonna run the clock out on that and have him play a whole year and then not get anything out of it, or do they deal him?
They should take care of it this summer. They should, if they're smart.
There's a lot of things Boston teams should have been doing recently.
Yeah, there was reports that come out that he said he didn't like how Don Sweeney treated his friends, so he wasn't going to come back if Don Sweeney was here. But then Pasta came out and said that's not true. He is definitely willing to come back with Sweeney as the GM. So
okay,
should be an interesting summer.
I'm asking you on your computer. Do you have your sound up?
I have mine up.
Yeah. Somebody, I'm getting chirp from somebody in the Lowell studios has feedback coming back through. It's not terrible, and it's not silent. So
I'm hearing it also.
Okay.
Tyler, did you turn the volume down on that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Huh. Interesting.
I could try moving the mic further away.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's a loop coming back from somebody's system.
Oh, all right. Well, so I'm wearing another.
Oh boy,
my collection. This is my Ken Griffey Jr. jersey I'm wearing today.
For what reason?
Over the last week, I've noted. I think stuff came up that I don't know if Griffey's records came up or something, but there was a lot of talk on the national broadcast with him. And actually, I think they showed. Oh, it's when Boston was in Seattle over the weekend.
Okay.
They were talking about Junior Griffey, as they were calling him. I vaguely remember people saying Junior Griffey, but I always called him Griffey Jr. or the kid.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Henry Ruggs prison uniform jersey.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
We want to dig into it. We just want to rip the Band-Aid off.
What are we going? Are we going Celtics? Are we going golf predictions?
I mean, talk of
Well,
the town. Celtics, yeah.
You want to keep the Celtics last?
We can do whatever we want.
I mean,
That's
I don't know
fine.
if I'll have the energy for this pent-up rage 40 minutes later.
Then by all means, let's go Celtics. Let's go.
I won't. With that being said, I won't start the conversation though.
Well, all right, I'll jump right in. And there's no correlation to because I don't track this data at home because I just don't. We've always like before any big game, Jenny and I will have a conversation and we'll be like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. I don't. There's something amiss, and I think there was so much confidence going into the 2-1 to become 3-1 game that I felt good about that one. The other night, Monday night, I didn't feel good about at all. Like all day. I'm like this just has an ominous feeling, and it's not because we're back there. We've been historically good on the road, especially during the playoffs, right? It was nothing to do about that, just a feeling, and I guess the one thing that. And I know you don't feel this way, so I'm going to jump in and give him some credit. The one thing I have always wondered with like what's going on with Tatum, he doesn't evoke any positive energy. Like when I see emotion out of him, it's after he nails a three and the other head coach calls a timeout. You'll see the flex and stuff, and he's screaming at the floor, and I love that, and a lot of players do that. I feel like he's most animated and most passionate when he is, and this is an easy Nerf sword to fall on, arguing that he didn't get the call. I don't look to him, and I know he's supposed to be the spark plug. I just don't look to him like he's going to be the emotional, battery in the locker room. He's going to be the person that they can lean on.
He's very like laid back, mopey, like.
Yeah, I'm not getting that, and I feel really bad for Horford too. Like Horford, at the end of that game, when they sort of went down, they always do this in every sport. They show the benches losing to show all their mopey faces, and they showed everybody. And Horford looked like he had seen a ghost. Like I think he's thinking, I can't believe this is getting away from us, right? Because they were. It was time to step on people's necks at 2-1, and the fact that we are at 3-2 right now, I'm gonna stick to my 7 games for the Celtics because I'm doing my best to stay hopeful. But I know you're saying 6 games, Warriors now, right? Rubber shoes, and I don't know where your head is at, Tyler. I can't believe we're here.
For psychology, like reverse jinx, we're losing in 7. That is what's happening. We are going to win the next game to get everyone's hopes up, and then get our ass beat. That is what's going to happen.
Oh, nothing would surprise me at this point.
There's literally not a speck of hope in my mind that we are going to be champions.
But that's how the team has been this whole playoff run.
I'm saying like when we were down against the Bucks, I had confidence we were winning that series still. This team looks like they've given up. No one else cares. It's done.
But then they'll come out tomorrow night and they'll be like, oh my God, yeah, we're gonna after tomorrow night they beat by 20 and we'll be like, oh yeah, we got this.
And Tatum hasn't shown that like edge that he has in all the other series.
Like going into Milwaukee Game 6, I didn't have a hell of a lot
fine
because they looked horrible in Game 5.
Right. Yep.
And Miami, the game they got killed. You're like, oh man, maybe they can't beat them. They don't have the Miami has the number, and then they flip the switch. It's such. I was talking to someone a couple days ago. They're in the finals. This is when you should be like, oh yeah, it's been a great. Even if they lose, it's been a great run. This has been the most frustrating run I can remember by any of my teams going to it.
I feel like as an objective, like not even a fan of either teams, I haven't felt like the games have been that entertaining. There's been multiple times where I've watched these games and been like, both of these teams suck. How did they get here?
Yeah, it really has been a bad product. The
last game
playoff run.
I could say almost every game there was at least some point where it looked like we had a momentum shift and we were doing good. This whole game, even when we got up a little bit in the third, I had no confidence we were winning.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, from the get-go, just the way it
Jordan
started.
Poole hit that at half court again, I knew it was over. But
Well, the way it started, there was just initially no energy. No
Yeah.
energy. And I want it to go 7. I want it to go 7 in the greatest of ways. I wouldn't be shocked if we're really annoyed tomorrow night. Like there's not a piece of me that feels they've got, and then they were playing this on the radio this week. They got Jaylen Brown, and he's like, "Yeah, man, we're very excited. I'm full of hope. The team's full of hope." It was like they were trying to sell themselves that they were still excited, and I know they're all pretty demure guys. I don't want Tatum to start to become something that he's not, but like classic line from like any coaching conversation, whether you're leading or not leading, you're leading. And when they look up and see him, and he's been better about getting down the floor, but like when every time the conversation around him has been that he's just, he's complaining about a call or he's flopping the phantom shoulder, which has disappeared, but I feel like I just conjured it up. Maybe that's going to reappear tomorrow night. But although on the nights that he's had the phantom shoulder, he's typically performed better on the other half of it. Yep. So I'm actually hoping he has the phantom shoulder.
I've noticed that he's not going to the hole as much. And
I'm going to have a whole rant about this in about 30 seconds.
That's part of the reason why he's not. It's because it seemed like every time he would go in and get some hard contact is when he would be like grabbing his shoulder. It's almost like he's timid to go in and get banged around because he thinks it's going to do something to his shoulder.
Yeah, agreed.
It's kind of like the same. It's a complaint about the same two players, but two separate complaints. At least, I'd say definitely the last game. Marcus Smart is playing the way that Jason Tatum should be. They like switch roles because Smart has been like ball hogging and driving to the paint, and he doesn't make it. I have no confidence Marcus Smart's going to score any of these. I get pissed every time he does it. But then, like, there was multiple opportunities where Tatum has the ball, like, decent, like, single coverage, and he just would pass it out. Yep. It's almost like this whole thing of the last few years of people giving him crap for not passing is, like, gone back to haunt him, and all he's doing is passing and passing and passing. It's like, you are the best player on the team in the NBA Finals. You need to step up and shoot. And even, like, the first half, he, like, took 7 shots, and he made most of them. It's not like he was having a bad game. He just wasn't taking shots. And then my other issue, which is my main one, well, turnovers is a big problem too. But
I want to talk about that for sure.
There is a very big problem with this team, and specifically Jason Tatum and Marcus Smart, with selling and flopping with fouls or trying to get one. They need to recognize it's the finals and they're not going to call as much of this stuff. Which it's one thing to flop and do it, but I've noticed a lot they will exaggerate and flop in a position where they should be either trying to actually defend or score. Jason Tatum will get the rebound, and instead of trying to hold on to it, he'll throw the ball out and flail his arms to try to get a foul, and they don't call it because it's the finals and they're not doing it. Same thing with Smart, where he's trying to defend on the ball and instead flies down the court, and then the guy's open. Or Tatum will drive, get hit, and then throw the ball and go, and they don't call anything, and it's just a turnover.
Well, I think at this point, too, and we haven't really talked about the officiating, but to Tyler's point about the calls and non-calls, yes, trying to induce the shooting foul when it's not really a shooting foul has been top notch for sure this series. I don't know if the actual I can't imagine that they're not going to make sure it gets to a game 7, if you know what I mean. I think that's probably in the cards.
I think the reffing has been horrible for both sides, by the way. I just want to note, but
yeah, agreed. But I think they're going to make sure it goes to a 7th game. I think they'll do what they need to do to make sure it gets there. Yeah. I think it's a product, and I think that's just what they do, and I don't have an issue with that because we need a game 7. That being said, the turnovers, I find it fascinating, and I know if you do the math and say, well, okay, the differentiation of 6 turnovers and correlate it to all 2-pointers or maybe even some 3-pointers, that's a 12-point lead, right? But the fact that they have this line that if they're hanging around 12.3 turnovers, they seem to be okay. But if they get to the 18 number, which is what they hit the other night, 18 turnovers and they're done. And the fact that we're talking about almost 20 turnovers in a game is ridiculous.
They were, I don't know the exact, but in this playoffs, like since it started, games they had over 16 turnovers, they've only won 1.
Yep.
And then it was like they've only lost 3 games where they've had less than 16 turnovers.
Yep. And they've
And
been
the majority of the turnover ones have been recently,
yeah. Yep.
where we've lost.
God, rubber shoes.
Yeah, the turnovers is killing, and the free throw shooting. Your 2 best stars
Yeah,
are
working
missing
it out.
constantly, and they disappeared. They had like I know they want to win, but they don't. It doesn't seem like they have the heart to go that extra mile. Like Tatum worships Kobe Bryant,
And it feels like he burned all of that stuff out in the Miami series.
and it's like, you know what? Kobe would say, "Okay, guys, get on my back.
Yep.
We're winning this, or I'm dying trying." It's just
He did a whole social media campaign. He wore the armband.
Yep.
And he texted Kobe Bryant's number before Game 7 there, and it's like it's almost like he acted like that was his Game 7 NBA Finals game, and now it's like, I did that. I got over the Eastern Conference Finals hump. We're good now.
Well, is that almost what's going on right now? Do they feel like are they out of gas mentally, like emotional capital, physical capital? Are they just out of gas right now? And that's what we're seeing show up right now? Is it immaturity? Because there's a huge disparity between how many times they've been to the finals and how many times we haven't.
Right.
Well, it's not so much how many times you've been there, because eventually you win. When you're your first couple, like Jordan and LeBron. I think it was like
They both.
more the age.
Mm-hmm.
They were coming out with stats that most superstars win their championship at the age of around 26 to 27, and Tatum and Brown are 24 and 23.
Mm-hmm.
That it could be just the immaturity thing that they're just not.
You don't see that many
No.
young stars immediately take over and win a championship that soon. Like same thing with like Luka Doncic, even with Devin Booker last year. But that was another point I was going to say. Now I'm done. Back to the free throw thing too. Not even that, just the fouls. I am more annoyed with Marcus Smart doing something where he'll get a rebound and flail and get a turnover than something like what Jordan Poole did where he pulled his arm and then flopped. Because while that was BS, if that was a call, Jordan Poole can do that because there's no risk towards the team for him to do that.
Right.
Whereas what Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum is doing is genuinely having a bad impact on us winning games. And also, that's the point. Andrew Wiggins is absolutely locking up Jason Tatum, and I also think Andrew Wiggins may have turned into Michael Jordan in that last game. It's not like he had 50 points, but all of his movements and stuff looked just like Jordan. I saw him do a switch hand layup over someone, and I'm like, oh my God, that's literally Michael Jordan.
I tell you, Jermaine Wiggins has played very well in this. And
Tatum can't score on him. He had 4
4
air balls. They were all when Wiggins was guarding him.
I mean, that was air balls, missing layups, missing free throws, turnovers. It has not looked good for Tatum. If you say the Celtics won the championship today, and you had to take the games thus far, who's the MVP? I'm like, there's no one.
I'm going to go with Daniel Tice again. I'm going to say it's Danny T. Danny T is going to get it. Your
they
favorite.
Put the MVP ladder up today, and Tatum is marked above Jaylen Brown because Tatum's averaging like 4 more points than him. But I feel like Jaylen Brown has had more of an impact to win games than Jason Tatum has.
But here's the thing, the fact that you have to go to the stat sheet to figure out who the MVP is, that's the problem.
One more thing, Jaylen Brown.
And is it logical? Sure, but it should be emotional. You should just know from the experience the player gave you during the finals that no questions asked, they're the MVP. And right now you have to sort of think like, I don't even know who I'd pick because nobody's really shown up. And that's the other thing. Wiggins, for them, what a phenomenal display the other night. And we don't really have anybody who's come off the bench. I mean, no, we don't. We don't have anybody that's come off the bench that's really shown up and been
Guys
that
like
person
Grant
didn't see that coming,
I think game 1, Horford, that was it.
Yep.
Sure.
And the Jaylen Brown turnover machine returned, and I think they figured out he only can only drive with one side of his body. I forget if it's always the left or the right
Yep.
at this moment. But whenever he tries with the other arm, he cannot do it and turns the ball over. And that is just a very big problem.
It's not great. It's not
Yeah.
great. So, Tyler, you say we're going 7
Yeah, and losing.
and losing. Warriors in 7. You have Warriors in 6, Rubber Shoes.
Well, that was after the game.
You were very angry. I know.
I think they'll win tomorrow night and force a game 7, as you said.
Yep.
The best thing for the NBA is for it to go 7 games. So,
sure. And then it's on Father's Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's unfortunate.
that's wrapping up the U.S. Open. Yeah, it's going to be a busy day for sure. And the Red Sox will be using their blue bats.
Yep.
Pretty awesome. Anything else on the Celtics?
I hope we're happy after tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
And we get a game 7, and then whatever happens. But it's not that's how this whole run's been. It's like they win so good, and
never been easy.
They're gonna win the series, no problem. And then they have games like they had the last 2 games, and you're like, yeah, they're not gonna win another game. So it's so frustrating, as I said before.
Yeah, well, all right. So absent any information from tomorrow night, Thursday, or Sunday night, should it go 7? If it was over, based on the information we have, because on next Wednesday you guys are going to be handing out blame pie, maybe. Hopefully we're having a different conversation. If we are doling out blame pie, whose desk does this fall on? Is it Brad? Is it Ime? Is it the kids? Like,
I'd say it's the players.
Tatum.
Yeah. Yep.
I would say, I think Ime and Stevens did a great job.
Agreed.
I agree.
Stevens had
Ime's been there before. He knows what he's doing.
Stevens had the balls to trade people that probably Danny Ainge, held on to for too long. He's like, he made deals knowing that we have to make this team better in certain areas, and I think he did a great.
Danny Ainge would have never been able to build this team.
Well, and Big Al's the emotional leader that got us through the Bucks into the Eastern Conference Final. He was the heart and soul of that series, and he's only back because Brad brought him back, right? So
maybe a little bit to Ime's because for some reason he's not able to get through to these guys in these last few games, but very little blame pie for him.
Yeah, I think if you're old enough, and you and I certainly are, like if you're going to the Tuck Rule game, if you're going to Flutie's Hail Mary, if you're going to, you'll appreciate this one, David Gordon's kick against Notre Dame, all those things. 28-3 against the Falcons. Like, there's no way as a New Englander you can't say, oh, there's an opportunity here. The energy is freaking me out. The lack of energy. And just collectively when you talk to people, like, oh, my God, they screwed themselves. I can't believe we're here right now. And it just feels like a huge uphill battle. And I think they're coasting. And a lot of people have said this. I don't know that we've actually seen everything that Clay could throw in our face. And then you've got...
And Clay is synonymous with having crazy game 6s, which is also great.
Which is horrifying, yep. And you also have the opportunity that... what's-his-face didn't have a great game. Steph didn't have a great game.
Steph Curry, for the first time in 193 games, didn't have a single 3.
Yeah, so that Mount Vesuvius is about to erupt as well. So that's all horrifying data. That it's not going to keep me up at night. I'll sleep fine. It's just... really aggravating that we put ourselves in this spot because they could have stepped on my neck.
Think about that. Think Monday, someone came back in time from Thursday. Shoot, sorry, I totally messed up. Just say someone came back in time last week and showed you that the last game that just happened, they just showed you Steph Curry's box score, and that was it. You would be ecstatic. You would think we won by 40 points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he played way below his weight, and they still pulled it off. It's really aggravating. Super aggravating. Are we making U.S. Open predictions as we move on to golf? What do you got? And I got to ask you this too, because you love creating whiteboards for the family and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys have a U.S. Open whiteboard at the Corey household.
We used to. So my brother, myself, and my dad. We used to do all the majors.
Okay.
A pool between the three, but since my father passed, I tried to do it with my brother and my uncle, and it just never really caught on after that. So, nope. I just watch, and so it'll be interesting how much the media did. So, did you hear the question that was asked to? I think it was to Ian Poulter on Monday. I think it was because he's in the LIV.
Yeah. Would you if Putin put together a tournament, would you play?
Yeah.
I love that we're going to go down this road because I
have no idea how it got super dark in here. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's fine. Yeah, go ahead. So Ian Poulter gets asked the question. It was basically if Putin put on a golf tournament, would you play?
Well, so I didn't hear that one. I heard another one. They were asking. I thought it was Ian Poulter. Maybe it was someone else, but it was definitely a British player. They asked about all the women's issues and people being killed and this and that and whoever it was, he was like, ooh, well, I don't know how to answer that, and then he went on to say, if we tried to solve the problems of every place we played, then we'd never be playing golf, and so he kind of poo-pooed it away, but I haven't heard any Mickelson. I know Mickelson is playing this weekend, so it'll be interesting if he gets in front of a microphone, what they do to him.
Yep.
Because I'm pretty sure he's not a media darling at this point anymore.
So, yeah, but if we're going to have an honest conversation, and it's our show, so we can, we got to peel the whole onion. So if you're going to admonish these guys while they're up on the dais answering questions, and you're going to focus on the fact that it's the Saudi public fund that is behind all of this, and I think the PGA is really upset because they're doing these huge DJ Dustin Johnson got signed for $125 million. Now we know that Tiger's a billionaire, but if you look at what he earned in golf on the course, DJ just got paid more than that to leave and go to, another league. And can you call it dirty money? Sure. All the people that are upset about LIV Golf, stop driving your cars unless you can tell me exactly where that fuel came from. All the people that are upset about LIV Golf, then we have to explore every state where there's a tournament. Has there ever been an injustice there? Right, because that was the big thing. They were going to stop playing. They were going to stop playing the Masters, right? Because Georgia's south of the Mason-Dixon line, and somebody in Georgia might be racist. And I'm not trying to be lighthearted about this at all. It's just fascinating to me that people are going to focus on. And yes, the Saudis have a lot to answer for, as do most nations. And I think if you started to waltz around Europe, there's going to be disparity in a lot of different places where the LIV Tour is going to take place, where the European Tour takes place, and here in the States where most of the PGA Tour takes place. And above and beyond that, all the guys who are in the PGA who aren't playing for LIV that are horrified about human rights are wearing Nike. And I'm not saying this is a judgment. Yeah. But Nike, I'm going to hold up my Apple phone. Right. I'm sure somebody that works in China, right? Because what does Apple say? Designed in Cupertino, built in China. I'm sure somebody was being oppressed while they were building the next Apple 14 phone. Yeah. And I'm going to sleep fine with my Apple phone that was probably built by somebody who's not living a great life like we do. In the grand scheme of things. So the level of bullshittery that people are going to be casting dispersions on all these guys that went to go play in a different league, I think it creates. I love it. I love the fact that, and it's not even inconvenient. So that's crap. You can go to YouTube. You're there right now watching us. You can go to YouTube and you can watch LIV live. Right.
Any of those reporters, if they were offered $125 million to work for them, they would all take it.
Yeah, like if Al Jazeera was like, we need a correspondent in London, right?
So that's one thing I've always spoke about is any celebrity, athlete, musician, music group. If you dig deep enough into a lot of these people, there's a lot of not very good people out there. So the like Tiger has had his issues in the past,
Yeah,
but
Tiger
I
is-
appreciate
yeah.
his game. Like I appreciate the artist's music. I don't like a lot of, especially with musicians, they have causes and that they go into that I may not like, but I like that person's music. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to boycott that person because they're anti-abortion or for abortion.
Right.
That's like I try to keep the politics out of it. If I like an athlete because he does unbelievable on the field, then I just look at the product. That's the whole thing with Pete Rose that I have the big problem with, is that he should be in the Hall of Fame as a player. As a player, he did what should be a Hall of Fame career.
Sure.
And he should be in the Hall of Fame as a player, and that's it. And there's clauses in the voters that you're supposed to look at there. Was there a good if you went back and looked at Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio, I'm sure they have checkered past that. If
Michael
you dig
Jordan.
deep enough into that,
Michael Jordan.
yeah, Michael Jordan. They just didn't have the social media like they do now to expose everything.
Do you know how screwed Michael Jordan would be if there were cell phones in the 90s?
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's in where they hold. Well, I mean, Pete Rose
Also-
isn't social media, but I still think he belongs in the Hall of Fame as a player, just as a player. Don't put him in as a coach.
Yep, I agree with you. Yeah.
This is a random thing that isn't really. It's a basketball thing.
We love random.
And it's interesting, and this is weird because I never thought I'd actually be kind of sticking up for Draymond Green because I do hate him.
Yeah,
but
boy. Have a great week, everybody. Go ahead.
It's more of a talk of how the media is now. It is ridiculous that he's getting so much flack for having a podcast after a game when players in the 90s were skipping practice to hang out with the NWO and like Michael Jordan, Drake. Like, we're really pissed about a player doing a 30-minute podcast sober in his hotel room.
Right.
Well,
right.
No, they were only pissed at him because he did it after a game they lost and where he played horrible in.
No,
now
they just
I haven't
give him
heard
crap in
anything
general.
since they won the last two games.
Right. Yes.
I'm just saying, I'd much rather have players doing that than what everyone on the 96 Bulls was doing.
Sure. Well, to your point, Rubber Shoes, like, unless we're going to examine every nook and cranny of every business that is a sponsor for any of the, like, go LPGA, go Corn Ferry, go Major League Baseball, like, just go in any sport to any level. Are you perfectly vetting, or is the check okay?
Right.
Because for these guys to be excited about an opportunity that they're getting this massive signing bonus to go play, and honest conversation, they're allowed to play in the majors. I think most of the LIV guys are going to be here. And there was some confusion around where they come up with LIV. It's the Roman numerals 54, which I'm also confused about. I was told if you birdie every hole on 18 holes, if you birdie every hole on 18 holes, it's a 54. On a 72 par, right? It's a 54. I've also, and I'm confused, and maybe that's my natural state of affairs. Welcome. Do they only play Thursday, Friday, Saturday? There's no Sunday round. Do they only play 54 holes?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it that much, so
I feel like they wrapped up. I feel like their final round last week was Saturday.
Oh.
And maybe they only play 54 holes as well, but that's what the LIV thing is from. Okay. And I don't know. I'm happy to have the competition. Like, raise your hand if you agree. I'll keep mine up because I know the question. Raise your hand if you thought Madden was better when there was a Sega Sports 22K football game. It was better when there was competition, and I think for the PGA to have a competition, and I think there's a lot of.
I hate to be this guy, but WWE was much better when there was WCW competition.
I was just gonna say, two wrestling guys here. Definitely and right now, although
boom period of that entire business.
There's another wrestling AEW that's doing very well right now, and WWE just hasn't stepped up. I don't know what their problem
Yeah, did they?
is.
Well,
The ratings.
But usually healthy competition is better for the fan because usually it makes them step up their game. That's
think
definitely true.
I think the press and I think people that just want to go and scrape the mud from the bottom of the pond are going to be around this weekend to ask the questions about the Saudis, about human rights. And again, I'm not taking that lightly. At the same time, there's a lot of things that we look past with Nike and their operations in China and Apple and their operations in China. I think the golf fans are super excited to see if one of the LIV guys wins it. How will that go? And and honestly, and just the tension that's brewing between the fact that when Rory won, he made the comment about how it was his 21st and it was one more than Greg Norman, who is the guy that's behind LIV. In the grand scheme of things, I love all that. As a sports fan, I love that. And to your point, I love that you brought that up, Little Shoes. Yeah, the wrestling was better when there were two leagues. When there were two different products to fight with each other. And I just think this is going to benefit the game. I don't think there's too much. Our household, I've told you guys, our household on the weekend, we get up. If there is a downhill mountain bike race going on Red Bull TV over in Europe, and it's like 5 hours ahead of time, it's starting at 6 a.m. We put that on. Then we put on European golf. Then we put on LP. We just put it on the Golf Channel, and it's background music until we leave the house to go do whatever we're doing. I'm not upset about being like, oh my God, you know what? The PGA doesn't start till 2 or 3 in the afternoon, but I know that LIV is on way out east, and I can put them on right now on YouTube and watch them live.
Oh, I love the British Open because I get to wake up and watch it as soon as I wake up in the morning.
Yes.
Because I'm a morning person, so these games have been killing me too. Starting at 9 o'clock, and you know what? The NHL Stanley Cup Final starts tonight, and they have a team from the West and a team from the East, and they're starting at 8 o'clock, not 9. Wait.
Yep. Oh, what's your pick? What's your pick there, by the way? Who are you rooting for?
Colorado.
You are? Okay.
Yeah. Not that I hate Tampa Bay, but I don't want to see them win 3 in a row.
You don't want to see a three-peat in your lifetime?
What's that?
You have to see a hockey three-peat in your lifetime?
I think one's happened in my lifetime. I may not be. I'm pretty sure the Islanders did. I think they won.
I feel like I'm like in a Batman movie. I'm like just dark and brooding.
I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to go real time and see if I can do anything about this. Hang on a second. Hang on.
Does that help?
Well, put that out. I'm actually trying to brighten you up. No, that probably didn't help. Hang on a second. No, that really didn't do anything, I don't think. Hang on. Yeah, I can turn you down. Look at that.
That's for sure.
I got you turned all the way up now. Here, that's
just
the best we can do.
Put it all the way down.
That's the best I can do on my end. Yeah, I was going to just say, Little Shoes, I know you're having a lighting issue, but I do feel like it's getting darker. So I don't know if that's me having a stroke or if you're actually getting darker.
Pretty sure he doesn't have a light on in his room, and it's
I don't.
The daylight, the clouds just rolled in and covered the sun. That's why.
What is happening?
Yeah, I'm usually daylight.
Okay.
Hey, Google, turn on light. It doesn't work half the time. It's probably not going to work now.
Oh, that would have been amazing. That would have been a great ad for Google. Not a sponsor yet. And they also might have injustices in their workflow. So we don't want to really say that we're a big fan or not a fan of them because I don't want to get yelled at by people in the press. Ian Poulter made a great point. He talked about the fact a lot of them said it was just these are all theoretical things when he was asked about the whole Putin thing, which is just that kind of stuff is stupid. Brooks Koepka was asked, I think yesterday, about it. He's like, we're here for the Open. We're here to talk about golf. He goes, you guys are talking about something that happened last week because they were asking about, the first tournament for LIV. And he's like, I don't care. And some of those guys are going to dig their heels in. And I'm not going to judge somebody either. Some of these guys that are digging their heels in that say they're not going to leave the PGA, if LIV strokes a check that changes generational wealth for your family and you're okay with it and you take the check, I don't know. Godspeed. And I'm if somebody comes to me and says, well, what would you do? I'm a 97 handicap and nobody's writing me a check. So I'm not going to answer theoretical questions either. If I was in a position to get generational wealth for my family, yes.
I'd
work through it with my priest and my therapist. I would take the check. Yes. Because I'm sure I'm giving money to other companies that are doing injustices. And I don't know what else to say to that. Stop driving your car. Start walking everywhere. If you don't want to support the Saudis, don't fill your car. unless you can tell me that you got that oil, that petroleum from stateside, which you didn't. It's probably from Russia or from Saudi Arabia. So,
well, it's definitely not from the Keystone Pipeline.
it's not from us. It's not from us. Yeah. So, there's my rant on that. What else we got, boys? So you have a pick? Do you have a pick for this weekend?
For the Open.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for Rory.
Yeah.
I like him. It's just amazing that we haven't had a dominating player since Tiger. Like, there's been people that come and then they're gone. And I mean, no one's been able to sustain a 5-year period of consistency.
Yeah, that's terrible. Don't do that. I also do love the parody. I love the fact that you don't know every week who it's going to be. That's been sort of cool. Last weekend was really cool to watch those three be battling it out at the end. My early pick right now, I'm going to say Cameron Smith because he's Australian and Janina hates his mullet, and that makes me love it even more. And I don't know. I think they haven't been at Brookline for so long. Nobody really has a feel on it. I mean, obviously they're playing practice rounds and all that kind of stuff. They start tomorrow, which is going to be amazing. I don't think it needs to be somebody who's historically been great at Brookline because they haven't been there. I think the Open was there in '88. The Ryder Cup was there in like '97.
Oh, okay.
But the Open was '88. Ryder Cup '97. So most of these kids, I think a lot of people are going into Brookline pretty blind, which is amazing. And I'm just going to say Cameron Smith. I'll take it. I'll take the Australian mullet for 500, Alex.
I don't even know if Tyler can name one golfer other than Tiger Woods.
Name a golfer.
I know,
Little Humphreys.
I know, like Brooks. You were just talking about Brooks Koepka, but I do know
Koepka.
Because I know he's beefing with that other dude. I don't remember that guy's name.
Bryson DeChambeau, who left.
Yeah.
He's on LIV.
Yeah.
So and I think to put a bow on golf for now, I think this could play into something really cool for the next match.
Yeah, two guys from
PGA, 2 guys from LIV. I think if they're dumb enough, and the PGA is dumb enough, I feel like they might be, because right now I think they're willing to cut off their nose to spite their face, which is ridiculous. I think they might be dumb enough to not do this because the PGA controls that whole match thing, and obviously Capital One is obviously the title sponsor. If they're super smart, they start doing, not every time, but they would jump on ratings right now if you put 2 and 2 together. That would be amazeballs.
Yeah, because big picture, you could have like a world championship.
The AFL and the NFL. That's how we got the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Right.
So I think PGA is just worried about losing its top players. I think that's why they're putting up such a fight, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the questions are coming from reporters that are plants from the PGA saying, okay, I want you to make this as uncomfortable as possible for these guys.
But they're not coming back now. That's the other thing.
Right.
And what does it do? It opens up the field. Now some more kids from Corn Ferry are going to come up. I don't really see a major issue. I think there's enough talented golfers that because of the funnel being so tight, never got a chance.
Yeah.
And I think, so I don't think it's going to erode the level of competition. I think it's going to allow a few more kids to get in. And I think that's, I don't know, it's good all around. Think of all the kids that are on the European tour that we'll never hear of unless they show up at a major over here. They're going to go to LIV as well, and that's going to be fine. I don't know. I mean, PGA, I just hope they're not too stupid to screw this up. They've got an opportunity here to make something highly competitive, super emotional, and if they can keep it professional and get away from the stuff about, and I'm not saying the questions aren't warranted, but they're not asking all the questions.
Yeah,
right?
I think they're just putting up a fight because they know they're losing some of their top stars, and maybe this is just gonna be the first year that they're doing this, and after that they embrace it and they welcome them over in all the PGA tournaments.
Yep. Yeah,
so this weekend is a USGA tournament. It's not a PGA tournament, so that's why I think all the LIV guys are available.
They're allowed to play in all the majors.
Oh, okay.
The PGA does not control the majors.
Okay.
So, and that's awesome. Cool. They're going to be here for all the playoff games. Love it. Fine.
Good.
And
Yep.
and there's enough good guys around, and there's going to be enough kids coming up that the PGA is always going to be robust enough. And again, I think if you just enjoy golf, you're going to watch it regardless.
Yeah, so they could. So they have the FedEx Cup, the point system
Yep.
for their playoffs.
Yep.
What would be better than you take your top 10 guys from the PGA and your top 10 guys from the LIV and have them in the FedEx Cup for the overall champion of golf?
Yep.
It's a no-brainer to us, but we'll see how pig-headed the PGA is about this.
They will become less stubborn as soon as they figure out a way to monetize this.
Yeah.
Right. And that,
Because it's not going away.
No.
People have already signed over there, and it's like anything. If it's on TV or it's streaming something, and you're interested in it as a sport, you're gonna eventually watch at some point. And
Well-
it because you don't think of all the other issues. That's like anything with any celebrity, any movie you watch. If you dug into some of the celebrities and their beliefs, and they were totally opposite of yours, it doesn't mean you're not going to go watch the movie, And
Yep.
it's the same with all this. Is like, do we like what Saudi Arabia does? No. Do we wish they would change? Yes. But it's, by not watching golf isn't going to change it, or by not letting these guys go to that tournament isn't going to change it. They're going to have the league, or they're not. It has nothing to do. That's a deeper issue, and that's something that the world, all those committees that they have of all the world leaders and stuff. Those are the people that need to deal with that and take care of that.
Yep. There's a lot of other stuff that's like, I mean, it's all important, but they're not asking all the questions. So
Yeah.
the hyper focus, to put their drops in their eyes for 8 hours and hyper focus on one thing, right now is it's short sighted. All the puns. You get all the puns in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna let Little Shoe shut off the rest of the light as we peace out. We're back at it next week again. Thank you for watching and sharing and commenting exclusively now on YouTube. We will toss the link on the Facebook as we always do, and Rubber Shoes always on Instagram in the morning for the wrap up. He's got an open flame in your house, Rubber Shoes. Do something. Do something. There's so many sneakers and plastic. That room will go up real quick.
Yeah.
Like a tinderbox. Anyway, we appreciate you checking out the show. Thanks so much. And as always, go to atbshow.com because the wrap-up and the show are brought to you by AAA Work Trucks. If it goes on or in a vehicle, it's a good chance AAA Work Trucks has it.
Yes.
Am I close?
Good job.
Yeah. I didn't nail it, but I'm close. I'm
Yes.
close. All right, boys. Have a great week. We'll see you in and around.